If you're over 40 and still doing these 4 shoulder exercises, then stop. It's not because you're getting older, it's not because you need to take it easy, it's just because these certain movements are doing more damage for your shoulders than good. Brief little context here. So your shoulder is the most mobile joint in the human body. So but that usually comes at a cost, especially when you're hitting the age 40, 50, and 60. So it comes at a cost because it's the least stable joint of the body. And it relies on 1 or 4 groups of muscles, but one in particular, which is the rotator cuff. And that can take a lot of the damage through years of doing the wrong shoulder exercises in the gym. So when you're turning 40, 50, and 60, after doing certain shoulder movements, rotations, all these things, your joint takes a bit of a brunt. You don't really feel any pain, when you're younger, but once you hit those ages, that's when you start to get pain and a little bit of niggles, and you don't really know why, because you've been training for a long time, or even if you're a newbie, depending on what it is, it comes at a cost. So when you train shoulders, especially shoulders and knees are probably one of the most common injuries that over 40s get, because that's just of years of training not enough, but also training the wrong way when they are training. So I'm just going to talk a little bit today about the right exercises to do. So I'm going to show you 4 exercises that everyone usually does, and then I'm going to show you 4 exercises that you should do instead of those 4 exercises. Exercise number 1, not to do, behind the neck presses. Now, for decades, when we're 20s, we've been doing all these exercises like so. When you do it behind the neck, or you've got the barbell, or just one dumbbell, and you're just going straight up behind your neck. Now, when you're 20, you could probably get away with it, but when you start to hit 40, 50, and 60, that externally rotates your shoulder, and that puts a lot of stress on the ligaments and the joints and the tendon, especially the AC joint. So years of doing this, you're not going to feel it on that day, but 20 years later, you will feel it. It puts a lot of strain on your shoulders, and you're not going to like it. It's going to be very painful. Your neck will be sore, that can come out. Your lats and traps, will be very tight and very sore. They won't have the range that you need in order to do a proper lift with the shoulders. Now, the exercise 1 that I would want you to do instead of behind the neck. So this is called a landmine. You see this in the gym a lot. You put a weight plate on the floor, you have the landmine attachment machine, put it in the middle, and grab a barbell. Now, how does it look like? You can go single arm first. Now, relax it into your hand, into your palm. Now, push yourself into the bar, so you're going to feel your shoulders and your chest engage. Stand up straight, keep your core locked in, so squeeze the belly as hard as you can. Keep your feet firmly on the ground, and now you're just going to press up straight. Now, the difference between the first one and this one is it's less strain on your shoulder joint, less strain on the tendons and the ligaments, and you're working purely the shoulder. Whereas if you're behind the neck, you're turning on muscles like the traps that you don't want to turn on, because they're going to consistently get tighter and tighter and tighter, especially as you're older. So landmine is perfectly, because it isolates the shoulder by itself. And you're straight, you're working your core and everything else. So as you're getting older, you're actually doing a full functioning body. So how does it look like? Press up straight, just like so. And you're really feeling it more so on the front part of your shoulder rather than the back or the traps or anywhere else. It's just mainly isolates your shoulder. And then you change sides, and then you press like this. Turn around, 2, 3. You want to do about 10 to 12 on each side, 3 sets, and then just keep changing, rotate. But that's what you should be able to do to help lessen the load on your joints, especially your shoulders. Exercise number 2, what not to do. This is actually going to be surprising everyone. Upright row. So usually you can get a barbell or dumbbells. You stand up straight, you hold the dumbbells like this, and you just come up like that. So very simple, looks fine, looks, happy. But just like the first thing when I said about behind the neck, if you're doing this constantly, again, this is the opposite way of the behind the neck. So this is internally rotating the shoulder, which again damages the shoulder, but also impinges on your pec minor, which makes your chest a bit tighter. So when you do end up trying to stretch your body, if you're laying on a foam roller or something like that, and trying to stretch your back of your back, you don't have the range because you're constantly in this forward position, straining, like, so if you just look at me now, I'm doing this position, doing an upright row. So damage to the shoulder, making the chest tight, pulling the shoulder forward, and then therefore your traps are turned on. And that's going to cause all sorts of headaches, migraines, all these different things if you're constantly doing this position. What to do? So no upright rows. We're going to move into the cable face pull. I love cable face pulls. It's one of my favorite exercises to do with a lot of my clients. A lot of my clients come in with the same issue. 40s, 50s and 50s, 60s, 70s, parents, grandparents, they all come in with a very similar issue. Now, face pull, the reason why I love this is it strengthens up and works your external rotators, which not a lot of shoulder exercises do. And this is perfect for sort of just correcting a little bit of the posture. So with the upright row, if you're constantly pushing it forward, this is doing the opposite way. So what do I mean by that? I grab the cable, take a step out, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. I'm going to pull it to my face height or chin height. Grab the band, you're going to pull it towards your chin as much as you can like this, and then come back. So as you can see, when I pull and rotate, not only am I working the external rotators, but I'm working the posterior deltoid, which is behind my shoulder. So you're going to go 10 to 12 reps, 3 sets, just like so. Works the posterior angle, posterior side of your body, also with the shoulder. So what I mean, again, I'm just going to summarize with this. So when I'm pulling back, you're working your external rotators, external rotators, but also the posterior deltoid. There's not a lot of shoulder exercises that work the posterior deltoid. There's a lot that do the front, all these things, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of them that do the anterior, but a lot of people forget about the posterior deltoid. There's probably only 2 or 3 that mimic that movement, which I'll show you probably in the next exercise or the next video. Keep watching. But that one, I love cable face pulls. External rotations, posterior deltoids, perfect for the shoulder as you're getting older. Exercise number 3, heavy duty lateral raises. Now, this is a good exercise, but it can be wrong, especially as you age. And I will tell you the differences now. So, the exercise as such is not bad, it's just the way you do it is bad. And this is what I see in the gym that most people do. So they grab a really heavy dumbbell, they put themselves forward, and they use their body, and they do these ones, and they swing because they're trying to get it up because it's so heavy. Now, that's a massive no-no. First of all, the swinging is a no-no because you're using momentum. Second of all, if it's too heavy, you've got to drop the weight because the way to do it is basically how to correct it. It's not an exercise that I want to do, but I'll just show you how to do it properly so you know. But basically, you stick your chest out. You want to rotate your shoulders back and then lift up, and nice at a controlled speed. Not doing those ones and trying to do this, because when it's too heavy, it's a lot of load on the shoulders, which your shoulders don't need that much load. And you're rotating at a speed that your body's not going to handle, especially when it's heavy. So again, lower the weight and just correct your posture. But I'm going to show you a better exercise to do. Okay, what to do instead. So not heavy duty swinging. You're going to go to the cable machine. You're going to grab a cable. Okay. A few different ways to do this, but you're going to go really lightweight, stand up straight, posture back, shoulders back. And this is all about controlling the movement. So very nice and slow, and then control the way down. So not swinging. You're going to go straight up in the air, control the eccentric load. You want to load up the shoulder properly. Just by doing the one that's coming back down, so we call it eccentric, you're going to go 3 seconds on the way down, and you want to do about 10 to 12 reps each side. So like this, and then control the way down. Again, that momentum, that tension of that slowness really helps to strengthen up the little muscle fibers in your shoulder. That's going to create, obviously, better posture, but also feeling better. You're not going to damage your shoulder. You're not going to put pressure on the AC joint or the rotator cuff, which is what a lot of older clients get. Just like so, nice and controlled. 10 to 12 reps on each side, and then really nice and slow. You don't need a lot of weight. That's the thing about shoulders. You don't need a lot of weight to really work them. If you're doing too heavy weight, you're putting too much load on that joint, or on that tendon, on that ligament. Doesn't like it. It's not going to be good for your body if you do that. Okay, last but not least exercise behind the neck. I've said this, I know the first one.
This is the behind the neck's aggressive cousin, as I say. So you're going to go rotation, and you're going to put it behind your neck and stand up straight, and you're going to press up. Now that would be good if you're 20, but once you're 40, 50 and 60, your AC joint is really not going to like it. It's a lot of load on the tendon, and it doesn't need that much load, especially as you're getting older. You don't need to put so much strain on your AC joint. So instead of doing behind the neck's barbell presses, behind the neck's aggressive cousin, we're going to do a seated dumbbell shoulder press with a neutral grip. So what does a neutral grip mean? So instead of doing like this, neutral grip's like that. So how does that look like? You sit on up tall. Now you rotate your shoulders back. You stick your chest out. You put your shoulders down. You can do a curl if you want. So curl, and then you're going to go straight up in the air like so with a neutral grip. That's what a neutral grip is. Why do we do a neutral grip? Well, basically it lessens the load on your AC joint that the behind the neck doesn't do. So you're trying to strengthen your shoulders without putting too much damage to the shoulders. The moral of the story of this whole video is you don't want to put too much strain on the shoulders. The shoulders don't need much work. They just need enough work to get them stronger. Because as you're getting older, when you're hitting your 40s, 50s, 60s, as you know, you're all in pain. You're all in pain for a reason. You haven't been training the right way for years. So neutral grip, and then you want to do at least 3 sets with 12 reps. Again, you can do this with a controlled eccentric load because you were trying to load the AC joints, but this is how it should look like with a neutral grip. You don't want to lean back, you don't want to lean forward. It's too much for strain on the body. You're just going to go up and then straight down, up and then straight down, just like that. You want to keep it neutral. Keep it strong, perfect for the AC joint, perfect for the rotator cuff, perfect for the external rotation. It's a nice, easy exercise that's going to help your shoulder get stronger as you're getting older. Those were my 4 favorite exercises to do after 40. Please give them a go. Let me know how you go in the comments. And you know the drill by now. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and share the love.